Alright, here is the video review for the Iron Factory War Giant Attackers. This is SPINVULTURE and BOOSTERSPEAR, respectively, Vortex and Blast Off. They are on stands here. There you go, you can see them when I get them in the shade. White balances up so they kind of hide, which is neat for taking pictures. But they come with the standard, you've got them facing two different directions, but the standard Iron Factory stands here so they can be displayed flying with their other members of their team here, if you wish to do so. Yeah, good looking group there in vehicle mode. You can also attach, they have special pieces that attach to the figure to attach to the stand here. And those pieces also store inside of the Bruticus bust when you're using that. This one will go ahead and just pop off because we're not going to need. In the case of BOOSTERSPEAR here, I'm going to leave that on for a minute because that's how his small gun or his pistol attaches to the underside of Space Shuttle mode. Now, if you want to have that on there, it can't land flat with that attached. Or at least with the gun attached. You can land flat with this connector attached, but that's how you attach the gun. But with the trailer for Cannon Chariot, you can have everybody going along and being a space shuttle. If he needs to be transported along the ground, like any of them will fit, but you fit BOOSTERSPEAR there on the trailer as well. And one of the things that I mentioned in the Cannon Chariot video, and I mentioned it in a comment on TFW, the combiner mode fists, you can see, do store inside these little missile pods back here. They just kind of friction fit. The thumb goes into the slot, and then the finger, you can kind of see the hand itself kind of matches up with the angled line of this, and the fingers just kind of fold in there and kind of hold them in place via friction. That's also where they store for the Bruticus bust when you're not using those parts. So yeah, so there's the whole fully completed little trailer for Cannon Chariot, which again is most of the Bruticus bust right there. So yeah, you get two stands, you get the adapters to connect to the vehicles. Just like all the other ones, you also get an adapter that can be plugged in, a thinner post that can be plugged into the figure itself to make them look like they're hovering in place. Go ahead and pull this off of him for the time being. So yeah, let's go ahead and get back to BOOSTERSPEAR and SPINVULTURE themselves. Alright, we'll go ahead and get these guys into their robot modes. We'll go ahead on SPINVULTURE, we'll go ahead and pull these guns off. You can go ahead, this thing actually rotates around depending on where you want that blade to go, but you can pop this off. I feel like it makes it a little easier because these are just friction pegged on, and they like to pop off. And it's very easy to pop them off while transforming him. So I usually just take this off and put it to the side while I'm transforming him. BOOSTERSPEAR will go ahead and pull these little guns off and set them off to the side with his other one. And we'll start transforming them. So to go to robot mode on him, when I come down here, pull the cockpit gun off. That'll form a little handgun for him. Detach these from right here, open these up, and that will allow his legs to rotate down and around, like that. And you can flip his feet down and split his legs. This can fold down onto the back, and then you can turn his head around. Really nice head sculpt on him. I like his colors, nice purple colors, purple and teal, and a really nice head sculpt on him. So we can zoom in a little closer. There you go. Look at that. Really cool. We'll show BOOSTERSPEARs here in a second. And the arms unpeg from the body and fold down. Then you can bring his shoulders up at the hinge. Go ahead and reattach his little propeller here, and you can fold the tail end down around, kind of around the blades there. Those will hold those in place. And like you said, there we go. There, we just popped one off because it's really easy to do. Nope, that one's on upside down. Come on. Maybe we want to have this actually lower than that. There we go. Yeah, I want to have it lower, and that will lock the, and the whole thing can come down and around and lock those in. Now his two side cannons can either go on his arms, if you wish, or they can plug in behind his shoulders. If you prefer to have them up there. Personally, I like them on his arms, but it's entirely up to you. You can just put them up there behind his shoulders. And then this little gun can be held in his hand as a little hand pistol or rifle. And there's SPINVULTURE. BOOSTERSPEAR, much the same. Unpeg the wings from the side here, fold them up and around on his legs, fold his feet down. I want to turn him around as well. These are his toes on the back. Just like that. Open up his panels, his legs, come down and out. And then lift up like that, kind of like a Combiner Wars figure. And again, there's a tab there that when you close these up, make sure to lock that tab into place with the panel. Split his legs, lift the cockpit up here, like that. Fold it down to his back, split the arms, down to the side. Untab these panels right here. And then rotate his fists around. And then flip his head up here. There's a little tab here that should allow it to come all the way up. Make sure it snaps into place. And these you can angle however you want. I like to have them kind of up like that. I feel like they look most natural, kind of up like that. But if you want to have them just kind of down by his sides, however you want to do that is fine. And again, you're going to leave these blasters down here on his legs. You can give them to him individually. Actually, no, you can't. It's those tabs on his arm make it a little hard. We're holding the wrong. Oh, there we go. Depends on which. It's important which peg you use to hold it on there. And then you can store this gun on his back. You can store, like I said, if you use these down on his legs, you can have him hold his larger gun. That. Decent posability on these guys. They got ball joint necks, ball joint shoulders, as well as the hinge. They both have that kind of lift up hinge there at the shoulder. Bicep swivel, hinge elbows, wrist swivel, waist swivel, ball joint hip, thigh swivel, hinge knees. Limited because of all the bulk back here, but you know. And then ball joint ankles, although again, due to some of the shape of that, they can butt up against some other protruding parts and not be as posable as other characters might be. Come on, stand. There you go. Had to push your feet back all the way. Same with SPINVULTURE. You got the ball joint at the neck, ball joint shoulders with the hinge, bicep swivel, elbows. He's got dual hinged elbows, so you can kind of fold them up like that if you want. He does have a wrist swivel. Waist swivel, same ball joint, hip, thigh swivel. Dual hinge knees, because he's got the hinge here for transformation, as well as opposing hinge right above it. And that can cause some problems when you're folding it all. Make sure that these are straight up against the knee before you fold this around. Otherwise, you're going to have some trouble getting these pieces to fold all the way around for helicopter mode. And then a ball joint at the foot. And you want to fold those panels back in to form his heels. And of course, you want to see him with the whole team. I would want to too, so as well. There he is with Brawl. And let's bring armor bore. Not armor bore. Oh, I know his name. Armor bore, spin vulture, booster spear, cannon chariot, and something hound, gun hound, weapon hound. Huh. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Anyway. There's the whole team together. I like the varying sizes. I like that Swindle's the shortest of the team. Blastoff's either Booster Spear is even a little bigger than Spin Vulture. Obviously, Armor Bore is pretty bulky, as is Cannon Chariot. So yeah, a nice little team. They look great together. I'm really digging them. Oh, and here they are with. Where did I put him? Here he is. Here they are individually with Starscream. You got to have Starscream appear with his brigade there. And then with some other characters here they are with the Lambo brothers. And just in the interest of showing everything off together, here is the bust that you can build. Let me get these all stand up. All complete. Again, like I said, the hands continue to store where they did for the trailer mode, and then the two little clips for Spin Vulture and Booster Spear store inside of there, so you can have all of the extraneous parts sitting right here outside of the stand. Although again, if you use the stand to boost the figures up, you're using those as well. But so there's that's a really neat use of the extra combiner parts. I really dig that that combination. All right, now we got to turn them into the arms, and before we do that, let's go ahead and deal with their weapons. These are going to stay with Booster Vulture. Booster Spear, Spin Vulture. These are going to come with. So for this, we need these two pistols or rifles or cannons from Spin Vulture, as well as the just the little end part, this part off of the cockpit weapon. And then we'll take all the guns from all the characters. We've got this one. We're going to go ahead and take this piece and flip it around. We already showed some of this combination, but flip this back, fold this down, flip these out, or go ahead and fold these pegs up. That's good. We'll take Booster Spear's gun like that, and we'll go ahead and fold that up, I believe. Pretty sure it has to be folded up. And we'll put all this together. So you take these right here, you want to put them on the right side. There's little tabs here that go on each side, as well as a slot in here that attaches to this tab up here. So kind of like that. This small gun attaches under here. And before we put in this last one here, this gun plugs in right under here. This one, the other way, like this, up like this. No, that's wrong too. Maybe this one. Oh, this way. Plug this in into here, and this end plugs up into this gun like that. And then you could attach this other side gun with the slots and the tabs there. There's most of the gun. These two cannons from Spin Vulture attached to either side of the rifle. And then this little piece up here becomes the scope up on top. Just like that. So there's the combined mode rifle made up of all the individual weapons. Now to transform these guys into their limb modes, first off we'll need the hands, which we pulled out. This one with this piece goes to SPINVULTURE, and this one with the little circle pieces here goes to BOOSTERSPEAR. You do go mostly back to vehicle mode for these, but we'll start off from robot mode. So bring these down and lock these back in place. Fold his head down, bring him up to the top, and rotate like that, and rotate these forward. Not forward, but around so they form the tip of the shuttle mode. This piece will go ahead and fold back up and tab together like that. So pretty much exactly back to shuttle mode. Take these guns off. There's a tab and a slot, so attach these together and go ahead and fold these pieces down like that so they make an L shape. So we come down here, we're gonna open these up and collapse his legs back into his body again. Again, it works kind of like Combiner Wars here. Like that, peg all that together, fold these panels back in. The feet, lift them up, rotate them around again, just like we're going to shuttle mode. We're pretty much going all the way back to shuttle mode, except we're not going to tab the wings in. Once we get to here, though, we grab it, and this whole waist joint extends to form his elbow. There's a ratcheting elbow there, as well as a hinge right here. It kind of locks into place, but it's to give it a little bit of range of motion in the arm. And then once that's open, there's a gap here, and that's where we're going to take this L part of the guns and slide it into tab it into the slot here. Just like that. Push those in, fold them up against the arm. It connects with these two slots right here, so we'll go ahead and rotate this around up here at the connector so it's facing the proper way. And the fist, like I said, there's the two little circles right here, and you want to turn this around so turn it kind of sideways so it's facing the proper way. But these two pegs peg into those circles, and it holds the hand in there fairly securely. The hands have individual knuckles down here at the finger and then halfway up the finger. You don't try to close this all the way. These can bend a decent amount this way, but if you try to close the fist all the way up, it'll start separating these two halves of the fist. So you don't want to, or conceivably stress and or crack the joint there. You don't want to do that. But then the thumb's on a ball joint, and also has it's a ball joint and a hinge right at the ball joint, and then a joint at the thumb. So there's BOOSTERSPEAR as an arm. And again, we'll go over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this off for the time being, just to keep from popping things off. Turn his head around so it's hidden. Come here, you. There we go. And then fold this up and around it like we're going back to helicopter mode. Now the arms, instead of, you see there's two places to plug them in here. For helicopter mode, they go in like this, and they peg in right here. For the arm mode, they go down and they peg in right back here, like this. And again, you can see that's for helicopter mode. This is for arm mode. So flip them all the way up there and tab it in just like that. Fold the feet up. Open these up. Fold these around. And just like we did before over on BOOSTERSPEAR, extend this down to get the arm joint. And close these up. Although before we close this all the way up, let's go ahead and rotate this the proper way as well. It's gonna be this way. We take this, get this connector piece right up in the, kind of sandwiches in this little gap down here, and then close the close the arms around it. Like that. Because that's also gonna, and then take this piece where the part we used for the gun, flip that up so you have room for the fist to move. And you take this fist, go ahead and open it up. And there's two, and like I said, this is why you want to make sure these things, this one's off. These knee hinges are straight because you're going to plug the fist into those, and if they don't line up, then you can't do it properly. Okay, let's go ahead and do this and fix this. There we go. That's why you want to make sure those are always folded the proper way. So take the fist, plug it in back here. Oh, forgot the cannon. There we go. So you want to make sure that first notch goes down into this. There's a slot in there. You want to make sure that goes all the way in and sandwiches in there and locks into place, and that will hold this securely in place on the front of the arm. Then you take this, tab it in, as well as, again, the cockpit tabs into the other side of it. Make sure it tabs in on both sides back here. There we go. Once you get it all correct, it's actually pretty secure. He will also connect with these two vertical posts. Go ahead and bring his, like I said, flipping this up is what gives you clearance for the thumb, so make sure you do that. And we can go ahead and reattach his propellers. So there are the arms. So let's go ahead, take him. Big thud. Line him up. Like I said, so you just take these, rotate these to be vertical, or at least, so they line up with these. And then just push these guys on. And now the actual connector point, there's the snapping bit at the torso. The actual connector bit in the chest has some rotational in it as well. And then you've got the elbow joint, the rotation, the waist joint actually works as a forearm rotation. There we go. And then, and same here, the actual panel that attaches it has some rotational joint as well as that. And you can hear the ratchet clicking. He's a pretty cool, solid dude. He can hold his big old rifle. Just slide it in to either hand. There's a slot in there that this tabs into. So you can give him his giant gun. He also comes with, and we haven't shown this off yet, although most people are aware, he comes with a small version of Bridge Watcher. It's non-transformable. The only real articulated part on it is the scope can flip up and down. But he comes with a small version of Bridge Watcher that also can be tabbed into his hand. See, it goes in the slot right there. And so you can hold a small version of Bridge Watcher. That's a nice little bonus. However, if you have the original Bridge Watcher, and even though he's a little big, you can actually take him. He has the tab down here on his handle and a big cutout right here. So if you use this slot down here, you can actually tab in and get his thumb around. You can actually have him hold the original transforming Bridge Watcher as well. And you can see that it's a pretty significant size difference. And he's secure. He's holding it. He's not, you can get his arm. The ratchets are strong enough to hold it out at a pose or even straight out ahead of him. He's solid enough to hold it straight out ahead of him. And that's a significant amount of weight. You can see he's wobbling a little bit, but that's because I don't have his feet flat, I don't think. But he's not falling over. He can hold the full-sized Bridge Watcher, which is pretty cool. And what's neat about this is, one, I really, really am happy with this. This is a really cool figure. I've been happy with it as it comes along. Keep popping. I'm not pushing him on all the way. And that's part of my problem here. Although these are one of those things that are, you know, people are already talking about, like, those connections are not going to be good after many uses. And I don't know, like, Hulky has managed to hold up with his on my shelf, so hopefully these will stay together. But when he's all combined, one, he's about, I don't have an original G1 Bruticus to compare, but he's comparable in size, maybe even a little bigger. A lot of detail and a lot of design stuff in him, and he's just about as poseable as a standard any other figure. He's got a ball joint at the head. Again, a little limited in the up and down, but and do be careful with those antennae. I've seen people reporting breakages. But ball joint at the head. He's got the ratchets as well as the chest rotation there, front to back there. He does have ratcheting elbows as well as a secondary lower elbow, bicep swivel, as well as he's got the swivel up here as well as a swivel down here at the waist. He's got wrist swivel, although I just unpegged that. But he's got wrist swivel in the hands and the individually articulated fingers. Same on this arm, same articulation. The lower swivel as well as the upper swivel. He's got waist swivel. He's got the hips out side to side as well as front to back. All you have to lift up the hip skirts here. He's got ratcheting joints front and back. He's got knees. The feet have front and back rotate or movement a little bit. He's got toes. And he's got ankle tilt. So he's got just all kinds of articulation and can hold a lot of poses for a combiner figure. It's really nice that they hooked that all up in there. So yeah, it's a fun, fantastic set of toys that turns into a really nice combiner. I'm really happy with these. So there's SPINVULTURE and BOOSTERSPEAR, the War Giant blasters. And just real quick, there's a combined mode. Here he is with the aforementioned Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. Here he is with Starscream and his brigade all combined. Just pull that out a little bit just to show you the full effect. Really nice looking set together. And just for the sake of it, since I had him on the shelf and I mentioned him, here he is compared to Hulky, DX9's version of Devastator. And you can see he's much bigger, massive, and just overall I think has a lot more character to him. But, yeah. I said Hulky's neat, but I think that with all the stuff you get in Iron Factory's set, it just comes off a lot better. I love the use of the parts to make the bust when you're not using the combine mode. The individual characters are all great. They come with the stands. I think the combine mode looks amazing and is nicely poseable. Just a really nice set with a lot of character, and just another great line from Iron Factory. This makes me really excited for their DJD combiner. That's coming out later this year. There's a Warpath I think is coming soon. A Nova Prime. There's all sorts of cool stuff coming down the line. Also, they also just released Crystallis, the Sword of Guardian, aka Diatlas here, which we'll show off in a separate review. But a nice little set, a nice set of toys. War Giant as a whole, and the two particular, the arms now here, SPINVULTURE and BOOSTERSPEAR. All their names sound like they're Mega Man X villains, which also does not hurt the appeal for me.